Viewers of Entrepreneurship Couch, welcome to today's show. On today's show, we have decided to look at entrepreneurship versus the economic lockdown that has happened in South Africa and Zimbabwe. First things first, we need to acknowledge what the entrepreneurs in the two countries have done. The first thing that we have witnessed was the South African government announcing the establishment of a solidarity fund. The fund was expected to make sure that it was going to help a number of informal companies, a number of informal business people, as well as the South African economy. One thing that has been very clear is we are going to be faced with an economic recession after the coronavirus has gone past. But for now, I just want to focus on the challenges that we are going to face in as far as the economic lockdown is concerned. In both of the two countries that I'm going to talk about, the South African country and the Zimbabwean country, we have seen entrepreneurs like Motsope and Strive Masiwa coming up to help the economies, as well as coming up with the resources that are going to significantly help these two economies. But for today, I just want to talk about the challenges that these two countries are going to face in as far as the economic lockdown is concerned. The first thing that these economies are going to face is trying to implement the lockdown. One of the biggest challenges that these two economies have faced is something to do with the informal settlements. If you look at South Africa, a number of informal settlements do not have water, do not have electricity. But not only that, they also do not have entertainment. So the South African government is going to face a challenge in terms of making sure that the economic lockdown is going to be effective. Because as long as these people who are staying in these informal settlements do not have electricity and water, it is going to be difficult to make sure that these people stay at home. But not only that, the informal economy and the informal sector is going to present a challenge for both economies. If you look at Zimbabwe and if you look at South Africa, all these two economies have had their economies striving on informal sector. So what is going to happen? If you look at a vendor, for example, a vendor has got to survive on a day-to-day basis, relying and depending on the amount of money he or she would have sold on that particular day. So enforcing the economic lockdown is going to be a big challenge for these economies. But not only that, if you look at South Africa, we've got a lot of people who have been employed as truck drivers. And these truck drivers have been moving goods from South Africa to countries like Zambia, to countries like Botswana, to countries like DRC. And these drivers have been paid weekly and monthly. Now what it means is for the period that these economies are going through economic lockdown, it means these trucking companies may not be able to pay their employees. And this is going to present a very big challenge for the South African economy. But not only that, if you look at the Zimbabwean economy, the economy has been largely informal. A lot of people depend on selling whatever they sell on a day-to-day basis. And assuming they are going to take heed and pay particular attention to the economic lockdown that the governments are trying to enforce, it means by the time that these periods of economic lockdown would come to an end, these people would not have anything to sell. But not only that, the little capital that they've been using in their businesses would have been used up. So what is it that these economies need to do? For South Africa, they've already come up with the Solidarity Fund. But if you ask me, in my own view, it is not going to be adequate. If you look at a number of employees in South Africa who are paid weekly, and some of them are paid on a commission. If you take an employee who is paid on a commission and he is not going to go to work for the next 21 days, it means he's not going to be paid. If you take the truck driver, he's also not going to be paid. If you take a person who depends on an informal job, he's also not going to be paid. South Africa has done something good in terms of coming up with the Solidarity Fund, but for Zimbabwe it is going to be very difficult because most of these people who are relying on informal sector are going to find it difficult. A day before the lockdown, already we've witnessed long queues where people are trying to go and buy. But this issue is not going to go away. So these two economies need to make sure that they've addressed the issue to do with electricity, they've addressed the issue to do with entertainment, they've got also addressed the issue to do with how are the people who are in the informal sector going to live, how are they going to be paid. But not only that, if this is going to be effective, these governments have got to understand that whilst we are trying to fight COVID-19 and coronavirus, the biggest impediment is going to come from the hunger that is going to come from these people who would have not had any form of employment and any way of raising money. So going forward, the informal sector, the informal settlements, and those that are paid weekly, and those that are paid on a commission, and even those companies which are going to go on a complete shutdown are going to present a challenge in as far as making sure that the economic lockdown is effective. Our viewers, whilst we have talked